Welcome to another installment of This Is Not Normal on the Political Drain podcast with Drill Sergeant Doug, aka Admin Doug, a U.S. Army veteran, teacher, musician, and family man from Jamaica, now fights for justice and democracy through commentary and humor. Follow him on YouTube at Political Drain and at Sons of Liberty Official as Drill Sergeant, aka Admin Doug, continues to protect our freedoms.
What's up, YouTube? What do you say we watch Ben Shapiro tell us his expertise advice on black culture, shall we?
How can you argue that racism is not a driving factor in income inequality?
Because it has nothing to do with race and everything to do with culture. And when you have a culture that doesn't... And when... You know what? Explain to me. You explain to me why black kids aren't graduating high school. Explain that one to me. Explain to me why black kids are shooting each other in rates significantly higher than whites are shooting each other. Explain to me why 13% of the population is responsible for 50% of the murder. Explain to me why the number of black kids in prison, not for innocent reasons, not for walking down the street and getting pulled into a prison, is so high. Explain, if it has nothing to do with culture, explain to me why the single motherhood rate in the black community jumped from 20% to 70% in the same course of time that the civil rights movement has made such tremendous strides. Is America more racist now than it was in 1960? And if it is, please explain to me how that happened.
Well, there you have it. Did you hear that, black folks? Huh? Our culture is the cause of our own demise. It's our fault. It's your fault. All the problems are cultural, says Ben Shapiro. I ask, to what culture do you refer, Ben? Benny? To which culture are you referring? It can't be black culture. It can't be black culture. Black culture is over here somewhere. Black culture is in the Sphinx and the pyramids and the Nubian headdresses found in modern-day Ethiopia that go back thousands of years. Our culture had a religion based on the worship and the respect of ancestors and those who've gone before you. Had a religion that was intimately intertwined with music and dance and drums. And a language so far removed from this one, we think it's funny. That culture was beaten out of us when we got here. Like our language was beaten out of us when we got here. Like our religion was beaten out of us when we got here. Like our ancestors and our memories and our history was beaten out of us when we got here. Like our names were taken from us when we got here. No, the culture you're talking about isn't black culture. We have no culture. The culture you're talking about is your culture, Benny. This culture of violence is your culture, reflected back on you. Look in the mirror, America. What culture are you talking about? Black culture has been simply trying to survive white culture for 400 years, any way we can. The culture that you speak of, misogyny, drugs, equating human life to money, that's this culture, not our culture. Well, our culture is surviving this culture. That's all we have. That's all we have. What black culture are you talking about? I have no culture, and I couldn't pronounce it if I did. I couldn't pronounce my own name if I had one. Language, the basis of all culture, taken. What culture are you talking about? The fuck are you talking about, Ben? Huh? The guns everywhere, that's your culture. You love them. The drugs everywhere, that's your culture. You put them there. Go back to Iran-Contra, the Cuban Missile Crisis. At the same time, they were giving crack and directions on how to make it to Rick Ross, the real one, not the rapper. It's in your history books. The CIA gave it to him. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's in the book. They did that. And now you wonder why we're killing ourselves over crack when you put it there? Ben Shapiro, what culture are you talking about? I have no culture, Ben. I'm a reflection of this culture. That's all I have. That's all we have. When we tried to pick ourselves up from the bootstraps in Tulsa, Oklahoma, so we could have a bit of decency, integrity, and money, because that's how this culture works, to pass down to children. You bombed them, destroyed them, stole them again, after you told them to pick themselves up. We tried sharecropping, you stole from them. The culture I know is the one that you gave us. This culture of madness, money over everything, huh? Where did we learn that? Ben? Shapiro? What culture are you talking about? I have no culture but that of avoiding or surviving this culture of indecency, of constant use and misuse of the Bible to get your own way, from the beginning till now. Ben Shapiro, the government puts the crack in the streets in the 80s, and in the 90s when they're dying and fighting and going to jail over it, you say it's cultural. You're fucking right, it is. It's your culture that we've had to survive in. When you took the housing, when you redlined the districts, and put a bunch of poor people together in one block area, gave them guns and crack, and said, pick yourself up by your bootstraps. That's your shit, not mine. Huh? The fact that we are still here and alive is a testament to whatever our culture must have been, because anybody else would have been dead by now. Ben Shapiro? It's not systemic. It's cultural. You're right, but you have the wrong culture. And I know that because I don't even know my culture. I'm still trying to figure it out. The culture you speak of, that started in slavery, that went to Reconstruction, that went to Jim Crow, that went to segregation, that went to marching and fighting and rioting just for the right to vote. In this culture you provided us and held from us at the same time? And then you spread crack into the inner city on purpose? Whose culture was that? When you told them they were animals, and their life wasn't even worth the ornaments of the trees they hung on. When you killed them for whistling at white women because they were beneath you. That's the culture they learned. And when they act like animals, you say, I can't believe it. The fuck are you talking about? You can believe it. You did it. This is your culture. Look in the mirror, America. Where'd the guns come from? Where'd the drugs come from? Where'd the hate, the anger, where'd the projects come from? In Rosewood, when they had their own communities, their own farms, you bombed them for picking themselves up. In Tulsa, they had black executives of industry, as well as service and banks and economics. You bombed them, leaving no legacy, leaving nothing to pass on as culture. They're doing exactly what you taught them to do. This is your culture. It's just got a black face on it. You know how I know? Because when the outbreak of Oxycontin came out, all of a sudden, we've got to do something about it. People have lost their way. These drug companies are crazy. Look what they've done. Because you saw them as human beings, not as something separate and different that had some sort of innate culture of violence that you couldn't understand. You saw them as your children, products of what you've made around them, and you thought it was worth fixing. But when we do it, those nasty animals are culturally deficient. No, it's worse than that. We have no culture. This is your culture that we've been trying to navigate for 400 years with your boots on our necks. Ben Shapiro is Jewish. 6 million Jews died in the Holocaust. Now, granted, 98 million more people died on the way to slavery in the boats. But it's not a competition, because unlike you, Ben, I have empathy. And that's wrong. It's disgusting to see what happened to your people in Germany. And after 4-5 years of that disgustingness, you got a country to call your own, to start again. After 400 years of slavery, I'm still looking for the mule. And we're supposed to pull ourselves up? You don't see the irony in that, Ben Shapiro? Of what it takes? Of the destruction of the mind that just the 5 years has done to your people, why they had to be relocated and given something. I'm still trying to name my son a white name so that when he calls in the office or hands in his resume, they don't turn it down automatically. Fuck the 40 acres. You got a country. And you're waiting for us to crawl out of it? Out of what? We're in it. This shit is yours. Is Jeffrey Dahmer your culture? The Unabomber, is that your culture? I have no culture, Ben. none that differentiates me from you. The only thing differentiating me from you in your mind is my skin. Because when it was your kids, you thought it was a problem and said we need to fix it. When it was our kids, it's because the way we're raised. You're right, it's our culture. That's the problem, Ben. Because we don't have one. It's the one we're living in that you created. People like you, at the very least. Fuck are you talking about? All right, special note to all my fans out there. Thank you so much for holding it down while we're going through this process. You know what it is. October 9th is when I get to resubmit, and my channel will be back up and ready to roll again with the Karens. Just a little bit longer, guys. Thank you. Please like, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know what you thought about this video. I thought it was important. Anyway, peace.
That was the Political Drain podcast, which can be heard on www.groovechillradio.com/political-drain and can be viewed on the Political Drain YouTube channel anytime. Once again, thank you for listening to Groove Chill as we resist fascism in any form, pursue democracy, peace, and love.